Adam Ida, Jason Malumbi. It's an exciting squad from an Irish fan's point of view.
Yeah, I think for probably for some players that have come back after being not involved in the last campaign. Quite a few players, but you're right. There's 4 players have come from the under 21s. Aaron Conley, Adam Ida, Troy Parrott, and Jason Malumbi, and I suppose that they covered the country really between Galway, Waterford, Cork, and the north inner city of Dublin. And I think they've come through the various clubs, through the great school clubs in the country, and emerged and come through the Irish international teams at all the levels, and now they're in the senior international squad, which represents great progress. In them. I think Jason Malumbi played for Millwall this season on loan from Brighton. Very competitive, really got an all-round game. He's very quick around the park, very very competitive, great range of passing, and can dribble. So there's an awful lot. He has sort of all the attributes needs to be a midfield player, and I think he's shown come back from a serious injury at such a young age, showing a lot of quality. So he's been captain of the under 21 national team. Adam Ida is our most prolific goal scorer at underage level for Ireland. He scored a lot of goals at all the levels. Again, very young, 2001 birthday, still only under 19, and his went from Cork to Norwich, and obviously he's finding his way there at the moment, and so he has a lot of potential, and again a lot of attributes, and he's quick and good movement, and holds the ball up well, and can has a good all round number 9 as a number 9 hat that we should have.
It's a good situation to be in where we're talking about great Irish strikers or potentially great Irish strikers who don't make the squad. How tough is the Michael Obafemi decision?
Yeah, well, Michael will be in with the under 21 team with Jim Crawford, and I think so. Michael is a good player, good talent also. And I think he scored a couple of very good goals last year. So I think it'll be interesting to see Michael with the under 21 team in the up and coming games.
Was it a situation where it was himself versus Troy Parrott versus Adam Ida? Was it a 2 into 2 from the 3 basically?
No. I mean, there's a lot of
Right.
players, some of the players that we've left out are really talented, are on standby, and a lot of players that we've left out, and I think left some good strikers out, and I think players that want to make their mark, and players that have been playing in the championship regularly, like Shani McGuire and James Collins and Scott Hogan, who all feel that they can contribute, and have all made contributions and have a lot more to give as well. So that's the nature of it. There's a lot of tough decisions, and I think that's the nature of it.
Just on Parrott, I think this is your first time talking since he's got his loan move confirmed. How big is that from your perspective, and how hopeful are you that he can succeed in the championship this season?
Well, no one can be certain. I think I think obviously he had the appendicitis that knocked him for 6, and then he came back and trained really hard with Spurs, did really well, got himself fit. Millwall, pre-season's gone well for him so far. He looks in very good condition, and he's someone with a lot to give, you feel, and great temperament, and he wasn't picked in the original squad, to be honest. David McGoldrick, obviously with his foot injury, coming into the second squad. So Troy has all the if you're replacing David, Troy has the similar characteristics in that he's very good with his back to goal, drops into midfield, can take you into feet or into his body, and bring other players into the game, and obviously he's a very very good finisher as well. So I think so Troy came in when David's foot injury prevented him being selected for the initial camp. So we said, we'd bring Troy in.
Stephen, it's been an incredibly long lead into actually your first game. Does it start to feel real now that that you've now named the squad, and also are you excited to actually get your hands on and get your teeth into competitive football?
Yes, absolutely. It's been, you know, a long period for everyone, I think, not been involved in international football. And I think, but listen, the people have made greater sacrifices than us. You know, we understand that these are the times we're in. It's great that the games are going ahead. I think one of the things about, for me as a manager, I want to walk into a full stadium, and passionate. That's what you dream about. That's you can feel that, the emotion of that, the emotion of the support, and players connecting with the support. That's special, but we can't have that. But you know, I think we've got to make the best of everything we have, and that's situation is the moment. The good news is that games are going ahead because they were in doubt. And could we go to Bulgaria or not? Now we have the opportunity to go. We're delighted to have the opportunity to go. I think it is an empty stadium, but those are the times that we're in. We've got the Finland game then on the Sunday. So two tough games. I think Bulgaria, obviously, they beat the Czech Republic in the Euro qualifier recently since our new coach came in. He's got them well drilled, and they look, you know, very well organised. And we've got to go over there and try and win, and play Finland, who've qualified. They have a tough group with Italy, Bosnia, and Greece, and you know they've qualified for the Euros. So we've got to go and try and get good results in those opening two games because we want to do well in all the competitions. We want to do well in this competition because one of the things that does give you is a potential World Cup playoff, and we know we haven't been in the World Cup since 2002, and these are things that we want to rectify, and these are you know we want good, you know, international results, and that's what we want to try and achieve.
Stephen, just in regards, obviously you've called back James McCarthy, Harry Arter there. Was that something that's been on your mind for a while now? Because I know you name checked them previously.
And Shane Long also.
Shane Long.
You know, I think they haven't been involved in the campaign as such. Harry Arter, I've watched them live for Fulham this year a few times. I think you know, he's been adaptable. He had to adapt. He was always sort of attacking midfield player with Bournemouth, and then he played the holding midfield role for Fulham, and he's quite aggressive, Harry, you know, and he's got two really good feet. Difficult to tell if he's left or right footed, you know. When I watch him, you know, he's like no other player in that regard. He can quite unconventional, you know. He is apparently right footed, but his left foot is them two goals he scored, you know, recently with left foot. So both of them are equally strong, and I think he comes in. You know, many people would have written Harry off, but I feel he's still got a lot to give, and I think you know, James McCarthy hasn't played in over 3 years for Ireland, and I think obviously injuries have taken their toll in that regard. But I think he's a really could be really. He has been a terrific player, but I feel there's even more to James to give. I feel he's even more to give, and I think very creative influence, and I'm looking forward to getting him into the Ireland setup again, and you know, hopefully he can stay fit and show, and really he can be a real addition to us.
Yeah, and just then defensively, a lot of people online are saying that we're a little bit light. Do you want to answer that in your own words?
How do you mean that?
Just you know, there's three centre defenders and one left back, so to speak. So, just in your own terms, do you feel like we're defensively light in that aspect?
Yeah, see, obviously COVID restrictions, you know, with the squad. If you name another squad, you know, you can only have 20 to 23, 20 players and 3 keepers, and any of their players in it can't be involved in that side of the stadium. They wouldn't even be, you know, even in wouldn't even be involved in that part of the stadium. So you can't treat people like that, you know. So I think it's you know, that's where we are. We've gone with 6 defenders, you know, 3 fullbacks. You're right, both, you know. I'm happy with the 3 high caliber fullbacks, so yeah, they're all adaptable, you know. And we've players who can adapt to left back as well. You know, Robbie Brady and James McClean can adapt to that if needed, and so certainly we've shorter loaded with our attacking players.
Okay, perfect.
Stephen, can I ask about that then? Just like, it's rare to see an Irish squad with more attackers than defenders in it. Is that more of a reflection on your proposed style of play, or more so that maybe the defence is more settled than we are up front?
It's an interesting question. I don't know is probably the answer. I think just what I felt was the right composition for the squad. I feel, I feel, yeah, like the adaptability of players. I think that suits. It suits. I think, and the way I want to play, like we want to play with 3 attacking players all the time, and I think. So yeah, it suits what we have. I don't see an issue. I don't see a lack of depth in that unless you had 2 injuries at centre back in the same match. I think maybe then that that. But we have players who can. That would be quite unusual.
You mentioned players being on standby. Can you give us an idea of who's on that list?
No, we don't really publish that list, but quite a few players on standby as always, as there is always. But it's quite. We don't publish the list.
Any particular players who were unlucky to miss out? Glenn Whelan stand out as maybe a strike-ball mission.
Yeah, we made 4 midfield players who were omitted, which was Glenn Whelan, Alan Judge, Josh Cullen, and Jack Bourne. So the 4 players are tough decisions. They all have a lot to give. Glenn's 92 caps you have to earn every single one of those, and through a succession of managers, no matter who's the manager, they always play Glenn. So that tells you something about him. So I think just on this occasion, he wasn't selected.
And then just finally, you mentioned Jack Byrne, there was no current League of Ireland players in the squad. Was that obviously not deliberate, but for yourself, coming from the League of Ireland background, I think many people maybe would have thought there would be a little more of inclusion. Is that maybe to come in the future, or? Yeah,
I think I'll pick whatever I think is right. I think I think Jack Bourne, I really rate him. Actually, he's a terrific passer. He's really a joy to watch, and maybe it's something that he's definitely on standby, and he's one that could feature again. For a short. I do think I really like Graham Burke also as well as a player that maybe would suit playing in the continents more than in the championship maybe at times, and really really creative player as well. And Michael Duffy obviously has the potential at times to really be he's really quick and direct and scores a lot of goals, and players like that. So there are players definitely who could have an emphasis and more to emerge. You would say that.
Steve, when you say you're going to approach this game with an attacking 3, how much of a challenge is it going to be to sort of implement any type of cohesion over the next little while? Obviously, training's been disrupted all year, and of course, it's your first game as manager as well.
Yeah, that is a challenge. Like, there's no doubt. You have to, but I have a clear plan of how we're going to do that with all of the staff. And I think we've put a lot of planning into how we will do that, and hopefully we can get everyone in on the Sunday if we can, and we can get to work in the analysis room in regard to that. We can train on Monday and implement what we want to do, and we can train on Tuesday in Abbottstown again, and gradually re-emphasise the points that we need to make. And then obviously Wednesday's the short session in the stadium in Bulgaria, so not a lot of time to work on that. I think that, so you're right about that, but I've got intelligent players, and we pick players that have the characteristics to play in the way we want to play, and I think I don't see it as a major issue.
In many ways, it's a really good time to be starting off as a new manager at the moment, because anybody who had built up that cohesion with their team, that goes out the window as a result of the pandemic. That everybody's starting from the first square here once again, it seems, in international football at least.
Well, it's one way of looking at it, for sure. I think, listen, this is a great period for Irish football coming up, because we've got 8 games in 3 months, and then so we've got the Six Nations League games. We've got hopefully a Euro playoff against Slovakia, which is it's a very significant game. The idea is that we'll be in a playoff final, and we've got World Cup qualifiers as well in March. So it's the potential to have a very, very high number of games this year if things went well for us, and it could be a year like no other. And I think and we've got to think like that. And I think we've got to prepare like that, and we've got to be absolutely very focused on what we need to do, and we've got really good defenders. I think we've got potentially a really creative, dynamic midfield, and we've got cutting edge forwards. So we've got to just make it a cohesive team. We've got to be a cohesive team, and so we're looking forward to the challenge of that. And hopefully we can achieve that.
Just one more on the selection process actually for this current squad. How much of a collaborative effort was that with you and your backroom team? It's obviously your first squad. Is there a lot of conversations that happen, or are you saying this is the squad and everybody else is chips in with their ideas, or how does that discussion work?
Right. No, I think. Listen. No, I've terrific coaches. Working alongside Keith Andrews, Damien Duff, Alan Kelly, Rudy Higgins. All working together, and again the extended backroom team. So we're all a collaborative effort, and I think everyone works hard for to make sure that we have a very modern coaching environment that the players can come into and really flourish. And it's your job as manager to get the players to maximise their potential, and that's your job really. You got to create an environment where they can do that. So hopefully we can create an environment that they enjoy coming into, and they feel that it's progressive and that we can really improve as a team.
Stephen, with the intense nature or intense schedule over the next few months, is it an ideal time for yourself to start? Because we often see in international football the stop-start nature of it. You might have 2 games and then don't see your players for 3-4 months or something like that.
Yeah, no, you're right. Like it's obviously it's been a long time since we've had matches, and then all of a sudden we've 3 windows coming up together. So that's exciting in itself, and we'll be able to. You're right. There will be a quick turnover between the September, October, November. So that is something to look forward to.
Stephen, just in regards, obviously, everyone's always trying to fit Seamus Coleman and Matt Doherty in, but the fact now that Carlo Ancelotti's came in at Everton now and sometimes has put Seamus in a central position, does that make life a little bit easier for you, that he can maybe adapt to a central role if needs be for you?
Yeah, and I suppose that's why I can go with 3 centre backs as well, because Seamus is a very adaptable player, and I think that's he can play anywhere across the back four, Seamus, and that's an advantage. But we have to consider all of that, and I think throughout the games, I'm sure we're going to have players missing at various stages, and so we need everyone. And that'll be very important.
And do you think you can maybe get them into the same team at some stage?
Yeah, I think they can. They have the capability of playing in the same team for sure.
Thank you.
Okay, lads, are you happy enough? Yeah. Okay.